Who's there? Who's there? Hey, wait, that's my voice. That's me. Why is it right in front of me? Come on, you're almost there. This way. Don't turn around, follow me. Who's there? Who's there? That's how it began. Mason Gray was one of those men who believed in getting closer to nature, closer than most people dare. He wasn't a scientist or a hunter. He was just a Wyoming guy who loved wilderness trails, peace, and tracking. No gun, no tent, just a flashlight, a backpack, and a notebook. And that's how he ended up in Black Hollow National Forest on a Thursday night in early October. It wasn't a place most people visited at night. Locals said strange things happened there after sunset animal sounds that didn't quite sound right, lights deep in the woods, and sometimes things watching you. Mason had heard the stories, sure, but he didn't believe in ghost stories, not until that night. He had followed a fresh trail of paw prints, big ones along the edge of a muddy creek. His boots crunched the leaves, and his breath was visible in the chilly air. The forest was as still as death, except for the sound of a twig snapping or an owl hooting. He had to go back, but the tracks continued. Then they stopped. Mason bent down, shining his flashlight on the ground. The trail led into a clearing, then disappeared. No blood, no broken twigs, no animal. It didn't make sense, Dot, and then he heard it. A low, sharp whistle. Not bird-like, not human, either. Somewhere in between. He stood slowly. Then he called, "Hello?" Silence. The air felt thicker and colder. He smelled pine needles and damp earth, but also something sour, like long dead meat. A smell that curled in the nose and hung. He took a step back, and that's when he heard it behind him. The same whistle, only closer. Mason turned. His flashlight flickered between the trees. There was no one there, but the trees were moving. Just a little. Enough movement to show that something big had passed between them. Mason backed away. He pulled out his phone. No signal. Okay, he whispered. Time to go. He turned to follow his path back, but something was wrong. The trail he'd taken wasn't there. Instead, every direction looked the same twisted trees, uneven ground, and the same strange smell in the air. Mason's heart started pounding. He picked a direction and walked quickly. That's when he saw it. A shadow between two trees, shaped like a human, but its arms were too long. Its legs were too thin. It didn't move. Mason froze. "I don't want any trouble," he said, his voice shaking. "I'm just leaving." The shadow didn't reply. But Mason noticed something else. It wasn't coming from his flashlight. It was just standing there, as if creating its own darkness. Then he tilted his head. Mason turned and ran Dot after about an hour of running. Stumbling and panting, Mason found something strange. A cabin in the woods. Old, half-collapsed, but still standing. He rushed inside and slammed the broken door shut behind him. Dust flew everywhere. The cabin smelled worse than the woods, as if something lived here and wasn't cleaning up. Inside, there was a bed, a desk, and stacks of notebooks. Jason opened one. It was full of doodles, of shadows. Page after page, words were scribbled in the margins. Comes when you follow the wrong trail. Don't look him in the eye. Mimics voices. He hates the light, but he's learning. Mason felt like he was going to throw up. Something scratched the window. Mason turned off his flashlight. The cabin went dark inside. He held his breath. Whatever was outside was now swirling around. He whistled again. This time it sounded exactly like him. He whistled again. Hello? Well, time to go. Mason's own words told to him as a joke. The doorknob turned. He ran out the back, straight into the trees, sliding down a rocky slope. He twisted his ankle. He cried out in pain, but something silenced him. He heard his screams echoing behind him, like an echo. But it wasn't an echo, it was the thing itself. He crawled into a small rock trench and covered himself with leaves and dirt. Throughout the night, he heard footsteps. Every hour, the thing spoke again, imitating his voice, whispering his words. Over and over again, I'm just leaving. Okay, I don't want trouble. As dawn broke, birds started chirping. Jason didn't move until full sunlight warmed his face. When he finally stood, limping and pale, the forest looked normal, peaceful even. He used the sun to find his way back and stumbled onto a ranger's path just before noon dot. When they found him, Jason was shaking, covered in cuts and mud. He couldn't explain what happened. Not in a way they believed, but he didn't go back. Mason never returned to Black Hollow, but others did. One of them even uploaded a video to YouTube. He went there looking for the same trail. He went at night, just like Mason. The video ended abruptly. The last sound? A whistle dot followed by the man's own voice saying, well, time to go. No one has seen him since, but there was a message from the same man. Don't follow every trail. Some weren't made by animals. And if you hear your own voice in the dark, don't respond. If you watched the story to the end, let me know in the comments what you thought of the voice coming from Black Hollow. Real? Supernatural? Fantasy? Or worse? Tell me where you watched the story. What time is it? What's the best time to watch and share stories? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to follow the rest of the stories. And tell me if you have any interesting stories that you like.